Welcome to Danish-InfoNews TV, your Danish English news. Today's news includes, among other things, 41-year-old convicted of raping stepdaughter, massive cheating, fraud and money laundering, critical treatment of residents. We begin on Friday, August 29. 78-year-old woman had purse with 50,000 kroner in cash stolen. A 78-year-old woman from Oliv on Thyholm woke up this week to find a woman standing by her sofa. The case is reported by TV Midwest, where the woman said she was from Ukraine and was selling greeting cards. When she had left, the 78-year-old discovered that her purse containing 50,000, which she had saved up for a new roof, had been stolen. In another story, police shut off the water so evidence could not be flushed away. According to South and Southern Jutland police, have arrested two Serbian men aged 29 and 33 at a rural property in Smedgård in Aabenraa municipality. Both men are arrested and charged with possession of weapons and drugs. To prevent the men from disposing of the evidence, police had to shut off water supply to the house and 15 other households. In a different case, fake collectors scam citizens in Southern Jutland. Police are warning on X about people pretending to collect donations for charities in Ribe and Vojens. They do not represent the organizations they claim to, and they alter the amounts along the way, police say. Saturday's news, August 30th. Two jailed for storing 77 kilos of cocaine. Two men arrested during a police operation in the village of Smedgård in Aabenraa municipality are charged with possessing 77 kilos of cocaine and a loaded pistol. Teenager stabbed with glass shards at town festival, 13-year-old questioned. A 13-year-old boy has been questioned by police after an incident Friday evening at a town festival in Hjerting, where several teenagers were stabbed with glass shards from a broken bottle during unrest. The 13-year-old, believed to be the perpetrator, was taken to the station and questioned. The case has now been handed over to the social services. In another case, a 33-year-old jailed for assault in Gentofte. A judge has remanded a 33-year-old man for 3.5 weeks after an assault early Saturday morning on a woman in Gentofte. According to police, he cut his ex-girlfriend in the arm with a knife and also grabbed her by the throat. However, he claims to only slap her. The two live in the same address, but their relationship is on hold, says North Zealand police. On a different story, festival guests thought they rented a house, but were scammed. Many guests at Tønder festival were tricked out of their money when they thought they had rented a house for the festival. But the house was never available to them, they told TV Syd. 40 of the guests have now joined a Facebook group called Fraud Accommodation Tønder Festival. TV Syd has since Friday morning tried to get a comment from South and Southern Jutland police in vain. Now to news on Sunday, August 31st. Scammer in Kibæk got away with two women's cash. On Sunday, a scammer managed to escape with cash from two women in Kibæk, says Duty Officer Andreas Andersen from Central and Western Jutland Police. The man tricked an 88-year-old woman and a 48-year-old woman out of 200 kroner each by pretending to be a fundraiser for an association for disabled Ukrainians. Police are investigating the case. In a different story, private care homes and crisis centers suspected of fraud and money laundering. There are indications that private care homes, crisis centers, and social services are part of financial and organized crime. This is according to the National Unit for Special Crime, NSK, in an intelligence assessment which Politiken has accessed and which TV2 has also seen. According to NSK, owners and employees at some of the facilities have close ties to biker gangs, criminal groups, and also radical Islamist environments. Owners and employees at care homes and crisis centers possibly involved in crime, says NSK. There are indications that, among others, Owners and employees at private care homes, crisis centers, and social services are involved in financial and organized crime. This is according to the NSK in a new intelligence assessment which Politiken has accessed. In a different story, 29-year-old man died after UTV accident. A 29-year-old man has died after an accident involving a so-called UTV, an all-terrain four-wheeled vehicle. This was reported by duty officer Rasmus Poulsen from Central and Western Jutland Police. On another story, man convicted after discovery of wine worth 170,000 kroner in garage. A 45-year-old man has been sentenced at Randers court to 60 days suspended prison sentence in a case of handling stolen wine. Writes Randers Amtsavis according to TV2 Østjylland. In April 2021, police found wine worth 170,000 kroner in the man's garage. The wine had not been legally obtained. In a different story, 48-year-old stopped near Vejle with blood alcohol over 2. A 48-year-old Romanian man was stopped Sunday afternoon on the E45 East Jutland motorway near Vejle. His breath test showed a blood alcohol level of over 2. Police classify this as reckless driving. If a blood sample confirms the reading, his car will be confiscated. Now to Monday, September 1st. Caught with 110 kilos of hookah tobacco at Copenhagen airport. In mid-August, a traveler was stopped upon arrival at Copenhagen airport. An inspection of 3 suitcases, 3 backpacks, and sports bag revealed 110 kilos of hookah tobacco. This was reported by the Ministry of Taxation. The smuggling will cost over 1 million kroner in taxes and fines. Tax Minister Rasmus Stoklund welcomed the discovery, saying smuggling harms both health and state revenue. Another person has also been charged. One of them has been remanded. To a different story. Couple on way to vacation took taxi after armed robbers stole their car. The incident happened early morning in Thyholm, where the couple were robbed of their car. They were robbed by 2 partially masked men with a pistol-like weapon. The couple decided not to let it ruin their vacation and took a taxi to the airport. Police are still searching for both the car and the perpetrators. To a different story, critical treatment of residents at Copenhagen nursing home. There have been several incidents at Copenhagen nursing home where residents were subjected to critical treatment. This appears from a report by the whistleblower unit in Copenhagen municipality, which Berlingske has access to. The nursing home's name is not included in the report. To a disturbing story, 41-year-old convicted of raping stepdaughter. On Monday, a 41-year-old man was sentenced to 2 years in prison for raping his 14-year-old stepdaughter in her home in Fjernslev. Prosecutor Susanna Blum told TV2 Øst. The man immediately appealed the verdict. In another case, 2 men convicted of robbery and assault of 2 women. The court in Kolding sentenced 2 Romanian citizens to 1 year and 9 months in prison and permanent exclusion for robbery and particularly violent assault, reports Southeast Jutland Police. The crime took place on February 23rd at an address in Vejle. To another story, visitation zone after street assault in Aalborg. North Jutland. Police are establishing 3 visitation zones after Friday's violent clash with drawn weapons in Aalborg. According to police, the zones are part of a large effort against a local gang conflict. Police investigate murder in Odense. In a press release, police confirm murder investigation in Søndrup, Odense. A woman in her 50s has died after reports of gunfire. Police have a suspect who fled the scene and is related to the victim. In a different story, shoplifter fleeing into Copenhagen harbor receives fine. A 24-year-old man who jumped into Copenhagen harbor after shoplifting in magazine has been fined immediately, Copenhagen police reported on X. On Monday afternoon. This happened Sunday evening. To a different story, students from Bangladesh and Nepal have received 1 in 5 residence permits. Since 2020, 1 in 5 residence permits for foreign students has gone to applicants from Bangladesh or Nepal, writes Berlingske, based on figures from the Ministry of Immigration and Integration. A total of 8,385 first-time permits were issued. Critics believe the student scheme is being misused. To a different story, municipalities issue record number of parking fines. Over 6,000 times in 2024, a municipal parking warden left a ticket under a windshield wiper. That's nearly 60,000 more fines than in 2023, according to FDM's annual survey. Ban on betting ads on Movia buses from Monday. From Monday, it is forbidden to advertise gambling and betting on Movia buses in Copenhagen and across Zealand, reports TV2 Øst. The idea came from Ringsted last year. To a different story, first reverse ankle bracelet applied. A pilot project with reverse ankle bracelets began on July 1st. On August 29, North Zealand police fitted the first one. The bracelet triggers an alarm if the wearer approaches the victim's home or workplace. The initiative is aimed at stalkers and violent offenders who violated restraining orders. The hope is to reduce partner violence. In the first 6 months of the year, at least 14 women were either killed or subjected to lethal violence. Now to Tuesday, September 2nd. Kiosk raids reveal massive fraud. A major authority raid in Copenhagen has uncovered widespread fraud and violations in the kiosk sector. All 24 kiosks checked had issues. Large quantities of illegal goods were confiscated, including 873 containers of nicotine pouches. In a different case, Nordic Sugar exposed for cheating with organic labeling. The Danish Veterinary and Food Administration found serious breaches of organic labeling rules at Nordic Sugar, the company behind Dansk Sukker. Reports Folketidende.dk. An inspection in January showed missing documentation for the origin of over 3,000 kilos of organic sugar. Authorities are considering reporting the company to police. In a different story, High Court multiplies fine for Ilva. The Western High Court increased the fine for the furniture chain Ilva in a GDPR case from 100,000 kroner to 1.5 million. The fine was given for storing customers' data in violation of GDPR rules. In a different story, Denmark has most citizens with financial problems in the Nordics. There is a greater risk of poverty or social exclusion in Denmark than in the other Nordic countries, according to a new analysis by the Economic Council of the Labour Movement AE, based on Eurostat and Statistics Denmark data. In another story, 1 in 4 kids skips lunch. 1 out of 4 primary school children does not eat lunch every school day. This is according to a new survey by Opinion for the Eating Disorder and Self-Harm Association and Anti-Doping Denmark. The survey covered about 1,600 pupils from 4th to 6th grade nationwide. Now to crime. 29-year-old convicted of burglary, drug driving, and car theft. A 29-year-old man has been sentenced at the court in Kolding to 5 months in prison and 10 years loss of driving license for violations including knife law, burglary, drug driving, and car theft, reports Southeast Jutland Police. That's it for now from Danish-InfoNews TV. If you haven't, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you're always first with the news. And thank you for tuning in.